Get ready to be transported into the enchanting world of English cottage kitchens, where centuries-old copper gleams like liquid gold, and every weathered surface tells a story of heritage and refinement. The cozy magic of English cottage kitchens. This is the cozy magic that transforms ordinary kitchens into the most coveted spaces among Britain's distinguished homeowners. But here's what even the most experienced collectors struggle to master about authentic cottage sophistication. We're about to embark on an extraordinary journey through the art of cottage curation, uncovering secrets passed down through generations of England's most prestigious country houses. From the precise moment morning light strikes antique copper vessels to the sophisticated botanical arrangements that blur boundaries between cottage garden and refined interior, we'll reveal exactly how to achieve that elusive authenticity that separates genuine cottage luxury from costly imitation. If you seek the rarefied world where heritage meets luxury and beauty blooms in every meticulously curated corner, subscribe to Opalux for exclusive journeys into the world's most distinguished interiors. Together, we'll master the art of authentic sophistication that transforms mere houses into legendary homes. You'll discover the exclusive placement techniques I use for heritage copper collections, the same methods that create museum-worthy displays in Britain's finest estates. We'll explore how to orchestrate the perfect dance between patina and purpose, where vintage vessels become both functional treasures and architectural art. But that's not all. We'll also unlock the sophisticated layering secrets that transform simple herb displays into living galleries and show you exactly how candlelight and copper create that perpetual golden atmosphere that defines true cottage magic. Get ready to take notes, because we're about to share game-changing insights that will help you master the delicate balance between honest materials and timeless curation. You'll learn why authentic cottage sophistication whispers through weathered surfaces rather than glossy perfection, and how patient collection trumps hasty acquisition every time. So settle in, and let's begin this remarkable adventure into the heart of English cottage style. By the end of this exclusive journey, you'll possess the knowledge to transform your own kitchen into a sanctuary where heritage meets artistry, and where every carefully curated detail proves that true cottage magic cannot be bought, only cultivated with discernment, patience, and the refined eye you're about to develop. Let's unlock the cozy cottage aesthetic. English cottage kitchen lighting and copper display ideas. Get ready to witness the transformation that happens when dawn's first light streams through mullioned windows, turning your antique copper collection into liquid gold, a daily miracle that no amount of money can manufacture. As you step into this carefully orchestrated space, you'll discover how elite collectors position their most prized copper vessels precisely where eastern light strikes first, creating that coveted gallery effect Britain's finest estates have perfected for centuries. Notice how the graduated copper pieces, from the smallest milk measure to the grandest water jug, catch and throw light in rhythmic patterns that dance across weathered surfaces. Above your copper treasury, Staffordshire pieces in cream and cobalt blue catch the ascending light beside antique chocolate moulds, creating a marriage of porcelain and metal that defines aristocratic cottage style. Each treasure has been positioned with museum precision to capture morning's progression, the light moving from piece to piece like a curator's gentle hand. The weathered oak shelves beneath hold vintage glass apothecary jars, their amber and clear contents providing subtle contrast to copper's warm patina, while dried lavender sprigs add organic whispers between the metals. As you explore this luminous display, you'll discover French copper vessels in graduated sizes, creating those rhythmic arrangements that distinguish elite cottage collections from amateur attempts. The largest stockpot anchors the composition, while smaller saucepans cascade in size, each catching light at different angles throughout the day. Notice the intentional breathing space between pieces, never crowded, always conversational, where shadows play as beautifully as the light itself. This layered approach, perfected in England's most prestigious country houses, proves authentic cottage luxury lies not in costly acquisition, but in thoughtful curation that honors both heritage and daily ritual. Welcome to the art of cottage illumination, where every sunrise brings fresh magic to your carefully curated collection. herb gardens and botanical kitchen decor. Prepare to transform your weathered surfaces into an apothecary's dream, where vintage copper vessels cradle morning's harvest of lavender, rosemary, and sage in aromatic abundance. As you arrange these living treasures, each herb releases its fragrance, the rosemary sharp and resinous, the lavender sweet and calming, the sage earthy and wise. Position these botanical gems where copper's warm glow meets nature's green abundance, creating that authentic cottage sophistication money alone cannot achieve. The key lies in treating herbs not merely as ingredients, but as living art that bridges your cottage garden with refined interior spaces. Moving through the botanical display, sweet peas tumble from tall copper water vessels in cascades of pink and white, while foxgloves stand proud in milk glass pitchers, their spotted throats catching light like tiny lanterns. This sophisticated vertical layering technique, perfected across generations of English country houses, brings nature's wild refinement indoors with deliberate grace. Notice how the tallest arrangements anchor the back, while shorter bundles of herbs create depth in front, each vessel at a different height to mirror a cottage garden's natural rhythm. Fresh thyme spills from a hammered copper mug, while parsley fountains from a Victorian jelly mold, proving that beauty and function dance together in cottage tradition. As you explore further, aged copper vessels, repurposed as planters for heritage botanicals, showcase the sophisticated recycling that distinguishes authentic cottage luxury from mere decoration. A weathered copper kettle now hosts cascading ivy, while antique moulds cradle individual herbs like precious jewels. Group these living arrangements on scrubbed pine surfaces between blue and white ceramic treasures, creating edible displays that prove Britain's elite understand beauty must serve purpose. The scent of fresh basil mingles with copper's metallic warmth, while morning light filters through herb leaves, creating stained glass shadows. This practical elegance, where every element serves both aesthetic and culinary purpose, embodies cottage sophistication at its most refined level, inviting you to clip, taste, and savor the marriage of beauty and bounty. Cottage kitchen paneling and architectural features. Welcome to the architectural poetry where diluted chalk paint breathing life into beadboard creates the perfect stage for your copper treasures. A technique Britain's finest estates have employed for centuries. As you run your fingers along these subtly lime-washed surfaces, you'll feel the gentle texture that allows varied copper patinas to pop against pale wood. While botanical elements add their seasonal notes. The soft gray-green wash achieved through patient layering rather than heavy application creates depth without obscuring the wood's natural grain. This authentic finishing method avoids the glossy perfection that screams nouveau riche. Instead, whispering heritage refinement through every carefully weathered surface. Moving upward, exposed ceiling beams reveal the architectural bones that showcase copper and ceramic collections with museum-like precision, the hallmark of authentic cottage sophistication. These honest timbers, darkened with age and beeswax, create natural display ledges where antique moulds rest like sculptures. Summer light plays across these honest materials throughout the day, transforming utilitarian features into gallery-worthy installations that celebrate both structure and styling. Notice how the beam's shadows create ever-changing patterns on your copper displays below. A natural spotlight system that highlights different pieces as the day progresses. As you explore the walls, antique copper molds arranged in geometric patterns beside exposed beams create decorative heritage that money cannot replicate overnight. Fish-shaped forms swim alongside fluted pudding molds, their shadows creating ever-changing murals that dance with daylight. The largest cathedral-shaped mold anchors the center, while smaller shapes radiate outward in a constellation of culinary history. Between the molds, sprigs of dried herbs and small botanical prints add organic punctuation to the metal symphony. This precise arrangement method, perfected in England's most prestigious kitchens, transforms functional pieces into architectural art. Each mold tells its own story while contributing to the greater narrative of cottage heritage, proving that authentic luxury lies in celebrating the beauty of purposeful objects rather than hiding them away. English chintz fabrics, and cottage window treatments. Step into the textile gallery, where vintage chintz drapery frames windows above copper displays, demonstrating the pattern mastery that distinguishes elite cottage style from costly imitation. As sunlight filters through rose-printed cotton, casting pink shadows across your copper collection, you'll understand why these heritage textiles are treasured across generations. The chintz, with its glazed finish catching light like silk, features climbing roses and morning glories that echo the botanical arrangements below. These curtains, lined with cream linen for body and longevity, puddle slightly on worn floorboards, creating that perfect imperfection that defines cottage luxury. Beneath the windows, cushioned seats gain distinction with coordinating rose-printed linen. Their soft forms contrasting beautifully with copper's hard edges in sophisticated dialogue. The window seat cushions, plump with feather filling, invite you to settle in with morning tea while admiring how filtered light transforms copper vessels into glowing orbs. Notice the welted edges in complementary stripe, the careful box pleating at corners, the mother-of-pearl buttons securing the covers. Details that elevate simple seating to heritage quality. Small bolster pillows in checked gingham provide textural variety while maintaining the color story that flows from window to copper display. As you explore further, hem-stitched runners lead eyes from scrubbed pine tables to copper mold displays, demonstrating the textile hierarchy that separates authentic cottage sophistication from amateur attempts. These ivory linen runners, decorated with drawn threadwork, create visual pathways that connect different zones of your kitchen. Vintage tea towels in faded florals hang from copper hooks, their soft patterns echoing the chintz above while providing practical beauty. Between display zones, heritage fabrics hold seasonal treasures, a basket lined with ticking stripe, napkins in provincial prints, an apron in faded toile. This textile placement creates rhythm and softness between harder surfaces, proving that function and beauty are cottage luxury's twin souls. Master this fabric layering and achieve the effortless elegance that characterizes Britain's most distinguished cottage kitchens, where every textile tells its part of the greater cottage story. Antique copper collection display and kitchen storage. Prepare to witness Victorian copper moulds marching across heritage surfaces in sublime formation, revealing the curatorial excellence that defines elite cottage collections. As you arrange these treasures, fish swim beside roses, castles neighbor shells, each piece positioned with museum precision to create visual conversations. The graduated sizes create rhythm, while varied shapes provide interest, from the tiniest butter mold to the grandest aspic form. Notice how breathing space between pieces allows shadows to become part of the display, creating depth and preventing that cluttered chaos that betrays amateur attempts. Cork-topped vessels add organic notes to copper's warm symphony, their natural texture providing perfect punctuation between metallic pieces. Above your standing collection, copper vessels suspended from hand-forged iron rails create a ceiling of circles that catch and throw light, the signature of authentic cottage luxury. As you look up, the bottoms of pans and skillets become an aerial gallery, their varied patinas telling stories of decades of use. The largest stockpot anchors the center, while smaller saucepans orbit like copper planets, each hanging at slightly different heights to create dimensional interest. Below this suspended treasury, ceramic pieces arranged by color create an artist's palette in functional form. Cream pitchers fade to amber honey pots, then deepen to chocolate brown storage crocks. Moving to the practical displays, glass-fronted vessels line shelves between copper molds, transforming everyday storage into still life compositions where patina meets plenty. Mason jars filled with preserved lemons glow like captured sunshine beside copper measuring cups, while apothecary bottles hold vanilla beans and saffron threads like botanical specimens. This marriage of transparency and metal, perfected by generations of English cottage dwellers, elevates functional elements to art. Clear canisters reveal layers of lentils, pearl barley, and heritage beans, their earth tones harmonizing with copper's warmth. Master this storage aesthetic where beauty never sacrifices function, and achieve the curated abundance that defines heritage homes, proving that true cottage luxury celebrates rather than conceals the rituals of daily life. English cottage table setting, and seasonal decorating. Welcome to the art of cottage entertaining, where a commanding copper vessel, overflowing with white cosmos, creates the centerpiece hierarchy that defines elite cottage gatherings. As you approach the table, smaller copper moulds holding ivory votives surround this botanical crown, their flickering flames casting dancing shadows through the flower stems. Behind this display, heritage copper arrangements on the dresser showcase backlit vessels that create aromatic backdrops for distinguished dining. The cosmos, picked at dawn when their stems are fullest with water, last longer and maintain their cottage garden freshness throughout your gathering. Notice how their simple white petals contrast with copper's complex patina, creating sophisticated simplicity. Moving around the table, antique copper serving pieces mingle with blue and white transferware, demonstrating the mixed media mastery that distinguishes authentic cottage sophistication. A hammered copper water pitcher stands beside spode plates, while copper chargers anchor place settings like individual suns. The vintage serving spoons, their bowls worn smooth from generations of use, rest in smaller copper vessels between courses. Heritage displays behind showcase graduated copper pieces, creating depth that transforms simple meals into curated experiences. This intentional layering, metal, ceramic, botanical, proves elite cottage style lies not in costly acquisition, but in thoughtful composition that honors both occasion and heritage. As evening approaches, begin your seasonal transformation with copper chargers glowing like captured sunset beneath plates in palest jade, crowned with botanical napkins that echo vessel collections above. The napkins, vintage linen printed with heritage roses, are held by copper rings that catch candlelight with every gesture. Individual copper salt cellars and pepper mills stand at each place like tiny sentinels, while copper-handled cutlery adds metallic rhythm to the table landscape. This vertical storytelling technique connects table to display shelves above, creating cohesive narratives from surface to ceiling. Small posies in copper egg cups mark each place, their sweet pea and lavender sprigs releasing fragrance with every movement. Master this seasonal adaptation, where spring brings primroses, summer offers sweet peas, autumn celebrates dahlias, and winter showcases evergreens, achieving the dynamic sophistication that evolves with nature's rhythm. vintage kitchen finds and antique copper collecting. Discover the thrill when that tarnished copper mold, discovered for mere pounds at a village jumble sale, now graces displays between priceless family heirlooms, proving authentic cottage luxury lies in the curator's discerning eye. As you position this market find, watch it dialogue with inherited pieces, creating conversations across centuries of craftsmanship. The weathered patina, impossible to replicate artificially, tells stories of Victorian kitchens and Edwardian tea times that new pieces could never whisper. Notice how a simple polish with lemon and salt reveals the maker's mark. Suddenly your bargain find reveals its prestigious Birmingham origins, proving patience and knowledge trump unlimited budgets. Throughout your collection, vintage copper pieces mingle with pewter on weathered oak surfaces, creating those coveted ombre effects that define sophisticated cottage displays. The pewter's cool gray tones provide perfect contrast to copper's warmth, while brass accents add golden notes to this metallic symphony. Amber glass vessels bridge these metals, their honey tones harmonizing the composition, while botanical contents, dried hydrangeas, preserved eucalyptus, add organic elements to mineral arrangements. This mixed metal mastery, perfected in England's finest kitchens, proves authentic cottage style embraces evolution rather than rigid matching, allowing each season's finds to add another layer of curated beauty. As you expand your collection, remember that provenance matters more than perfection. That dented kettle from a Scottish estate sale, the mismatched moulds from a Cotswolds cottage clearance, the French saucepan discovered in a Provence market. Each piece carries its own narrative that enriches your cottage story. Group finds by era on one shelf, by function on another, creating mini exhibitions that evolve with each treasure hunt. The democratic curation approach, mastered by Britain's most discerning collectors, welcomes the humblest milk pan alongside the finest fish kettle, proving that authentic patina, achieved only through patient accumulation, creates the layered richness that new money cannot buy, only time can bestow. This is the true secret. Cottage luxury isn't purchased complete, but cultivated through seasons of careful selection. cottage kitchen, ambient lighting, and evening decor. As twilight descends, watch tea lights nestled in copper moulds along heritage displays create dancing shadows through colored glass vessels, the evening transformation that defines elite cottage ambiance. Each flame flickers differently in its copper home, the metal's curves directing light in unique patterns across weathered walls. The interplay of flame, metal, and botanical elements turns practical storage into theatrical illumination that rivals any grand chandelier. Notice how the copper's interior reflects and multiplies each flame, creating pools of golden light that puddle on surfaces below. Fresh rosemary sprigs between the moulds release their oils in the warmth, adding aromatic dimensions to this visual symphony. Moving through the space, architectural lighting, washing over hanging copper, transforms vessels into glowing orbs while illuminating treasures below, a sophisticated technique perfected in Britain's finest estates. The warm LED strips, hidden beneath shelves, create an amber underglow that makes copper sing without harsh shadows. This orchestrated illumination creates warmth layers that extend golden hours deep into evening, maintaining that perpetual sunset quality that defines cottage luxury. Avoid harsh overhead lighting that destroys cottage magic and exposes every imperfection. Instead, master this subtle approach that honors both heritage pieces and intimate gatherings, allowing patina and wear to become beautiful rather than visible flaws. As darkness deepens, your copper collection becomes the stars, vessels gleaming overhead like a constellation of culinary history, while molds cast intricate shadows across heritage surfaces. The antique glass in cabinet doors glows like stained glass when backlit, creating amber and green pools that dance with candlelight. Each element contributes to evening symphony, where metal, botanical, and flame create the perpetual magic that defines authentic cottage luxury. A copper hurricane lamp on the table adds another layer of warm light, its glow reflecting in every polished surface and creating infinite golden echoes. Master this twilight theater, and your kitchen transcends mere function to become the enchanted heart of England's cottage tradition, where every evening becomes an occasion and every gathering gains the magic of centuries-old hospitality. where your cottage story begins. And there you have it, my friends, a glimpse into the enchanted world where copper glows like captured sunset and every weathered surface whispers stories of generations past. From those magical morning moments when light transforms ordinary vessels into liquid gold, to evening's theatrical display where candlelight dances through antique glass, we've explored the authentic art of English cottage sophistication. But remember, the true beauty of this timeless style lies not in the perfection of museum-worthy displays, but in the daily rituals that bring these spaces to life. The herbs snipped for supper, the copper kettle singing on the range, the gathered bouquets spilling from inherited vessels. As we come to the end of our remarkable journey, I want to leave you with this truth. Your cottage kitchen is more than just a room where meals are prepared. It's a living gallery where heritage meets heart, where every tarnished spoon and weathered board contributes to a story uniquely yours. Don't be afraid to let copper develop its natural patina, to display that slightly dented mold discovered at a village fair, or to mix centuries and styles in ways that speak to your soul. The magic happens when you stop chasing perfection and start celebrating the perfectly imperfect. When morning coffee tastes better in a chipped ironstone mug, when herbs grown on your windowsill season both your cooking and your view. Like copper developing its patina, through patient collecting, thoughtful curation, and the courage to choose character over convention. Whether you're blessed with ancient beams and mullioned windows, or simply dreaming from a modern flat, remember that cottage magic lives in the spirit of the styling, not the age of the structure. It's about creating spaces where beauty serves purpose, where treasures are used rather than hidden, and where every carefully chosen element contributes to the greater symphony of home. So go forth and create your own cottage story. Let morning light guide your displays. Allow evening flames to transform your treasures, and trust your eye as it develops its discerning power. Your cottage kitchen awaits, not as a project to complete, but as an ever-evolving canvas where life's most precious moments unfold. Until we meet again in another enchanted space, keep collecting, keep curating, and always remember, true cottage luxury whispers rather than shouts, patinas rather than polishes, and proves that the most sophisticated spaces are those that honor both heritage and heart. Welcome home.